There is simply nothing more humbling than when you go after a guy and you think it's about to be a slam dunk. Like, you're like, I got this in the bag. I'm better than him. I'm doing him a favor. And then he comes back and rejects you. Like, there is nothing in life more humbling than that. And it's never my feelings that are hurt. It's my ego. Like, my ego physically cannot handle that rejection because I knew that I was better. So how could you do that? And yet it happens to me way more times than I would like to admit. Thank you.
See, they swear that they're better than certain men, but what is this that I'm seeing here? You're going for men that you think you're better than, you get rejected by them, and you feel some sort of way? Well, why? This would have never happened in the beginning if you just saw a dude for being a guy. That's it. No, you're like, I could leverage this against him. I'm better than him. I do this. I have this. But it turns out that he's not interested. He's really not. Men don't care. So when we're talking about men as a collective, more men are waking up. They don't care. And this guy hit the Uno reverse. He played his hand correctly.
I literally just took myself to the movies, and you know what? I came to the conclusion that that is why these broke men don't want to date anymore. Imagine $40 just on me. Imagine how much for another woman that you would have to pay for. Not only that, what if she has kids? Now you gotta go take the whole fucking kinder to the fucking movies too. I understand, guys.
They can always do for themselves, but then they always double back and reserve the right to talk about what men either aren't doing or men being broke. And that's the reason why they can't do certain things. She made a good point though. You know, a woman with kids, imagine having to take her kids with her to the movie. But, you know, that's flawed logic, because why would a guy do that in the first place, let alone date a single mother and take her out and shell out cash and all of this stuff? No, save your money, keep it in your pocket. She's trying to be funny about this with this clip, taking jabs at dudes like, oh, dudes are broke, they don't want to do this, I had to spend $40 at the movies. Listen, $40 can get you a lot farther with buying something for yourself and investing it in yourself. And I'm not saying that taking women out on dates is a bad thing, but when they deserve it. You could get to know a woman, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You do not at all. So keep doing things for yourself. Just don't complain about it. Men don't care. You ever ask yourself this? They get on camera and say all of this stuff. That's not making a difference. That's not making men want to come out here and open their wallets to you guys, because you're ungrateful either way. All these clips do is prove that whether you keep your wallet closed or you open your wallet, they're ungrateful for what they could have or what they don't have or what they think they should have. They're ungrateful for it. Let's get the next one.
I don't think there's much worse than the wrong guy wanting you. Like the guy that you don't want doing all the romantic gestures that the guy you do want isn't doing. I had this situation happen to me when I was out with my girls. I ran into this like one guy that's been like very, very heavily pursuing me for the last like month, I want to say. Very sweet guy. I'm not in a place where I'm looking for anything new with somebody. And so the girls and I are out at this like private party, and he happens to be there, and he invites us over to his booth, and we're like enjoying our night with them. But like, it's very clear I'm not interested. I'm not really giving him any signals that I'm, you know, interested in him and stuff. But this guy just keeps trying throughout the night. Among other things, I could feel him like staring at me. You know, like when somebody stares at you like they're in love? I could like feel his like eyes like piercing into my head. And like the amount of times my girls were like, Ellen, he's literally staring at you like this man's in love with you right now. And I'm like, I know, get him to fucking stop. I told him like 50 times, I'm like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not ready. He's like, well, when you're ready, let me know because I'm taking you out. Very bold. I like, there's nothing wrong with it. But just having like this guy like looking at me like he's in love with me when he's not the person that I want, I was like, am I in hell? Like, I feel like he said all the things that if the right person said that, I would literally drop my pants. Like, but because he's just not him, like, I'm like, save me. This is such a curse of a girl. The guy you want doesn't want you, but the guy that wants you, you don't want him. If I could force attraction or force myself to be emotionally available, I would, trust me.
So like I said before in the last clip, right? They're ungrateful for a lot of things, especially the attention that they get from men that actually like them, that are into them. But nothing really matters unless she's into you. So you don't even have to do anything. Why does a guy have to put in a ton of effort? See, this is really why it's not like men are completely overdating. If a woman comes into a guy's life and she cooperates, he finds her attractive, she's a good time, he's gonna get on with her. But all the other in between, absolutely not. This clown show, humiliation ritual, no, because you don't have to do any of it when they actually like you. Actually, the less you do, the more they like you, because you're just being authentically yourself. But this is what they think about men who are actually into them, that give them good energy. This is what deters men away from giving good energy, because they're ungrateful. It's not appreciated. It's not needed. Bottom line, and the guys that they're wanting right now, right? Those guys understand the game. They understand the game. See, the thing is, they could see a guy and think, I bet he gets women. And he probably does, or he probably doesn't. It doesn't really matter, right? He can. That's why you view him this way. You assume that he can. So why is he chasing you around to have a shot with you? When this is how you treat men that are sure about you, they always ask for men to be sure about them. But when a man is sure about them, it gives them the ick. He's creepy. He's doing too much. Are you serious? But watch this. Let's see what they think about nonchalant men.
I love a chalant man. I'm sorry. I don't think it's attractive when you're like nonchalant and you try to act cool, like you don't care. I love a man who's just honest about his feelings, like shows his feelings. Yes, check me. Yes, tell me that your feelings are hurt and tell me how I can fix it. I hate when a man just acts like he doesn't care. Why are you here? Leave. I want you to be sick when we're apart. I want you to be unable to breathe when you're away from me for more than 3 minutes. The thought of losing me should make you violently ill. And I want you to show me that. When people ask me my type, that is my type. I've only dated men that were obsessed with me. There you go. There you have it. That is my type. A chalant man.
They don't care about what you've been through. These women don't care about what you've been through, where your effort has gotten you, if it's gotten you nowhere, if you've gotten your heart broken, if you've gotten it stomped on. They don't care. They really don't. So they're always expecting you to keep going above and beyond. Don't worry about it. Just keep going until the woman of your dreams shows up, even though we know that that's fake. Just keep going. Keep looking like a loser. Keep looking like a fool. Then when you respect yourself, they call that nonchalant. So when you won't go back and forth with them, when you won't get emotional, when you won't argue, when you won't fight for them, you're nonchalant. No. I have conversations. I don't deal with ultimatums. I don't argue to hurt your feelings because you hurt mine. I'm taking in what you said. I'm analyzing it. And now I really understand how you see me. We don't see each other the same way. There's nothing to speak about here. If you really respected me, I would never need to argue with you. I would never need to go back and forth trying to convince you or hurt your feelings because you hurt my feelings or whatever. No, I'm gonna just go about my business. That's called being nonchalant to them. It's not, oh, he respects himself. So self-respecting men are staying single because all of the back and forth and the drama just simply isn't worth it. I gotta go out here in the world and make something of myself and then deal with some woman who's making things even more difficult for me when I'm off the clock? Absolutely not. She said, I want you to be sick without me, and that's her type, right? That's not a man, bro. That's really not. And she's talking about this is the only type of guy she ever dated. Where they at? Where they at? Is he in the back somewhere where we don't see him in that clip? Where's he at? None of those guys are still around. Because guess what? She doesn't respect that. So she can say that's what she wants, that's what she wishes for, and that's her type. That is not what she respects, because at least one of these guys would still be around. And she's not the only one. Let's watch this next one.
I only like men who think that this my world. All that nonchalant shit, get your ass smacked. This my shit around here. Treat me as such. Treat this life as such. What the fuck?
There's this common misconception that women like this need a strong man to put them in their feminine energy. No, that's not true. That's flawed logic. Either she's feminine or she's not, or she's masculine. Straight up, that's the truth. And guys are silly enough to think that, they're more manly than other men because they're willing to put up with this. No, you're an idiot. Just calling it out for what it is. This woman needs to be avoided. Don't introduce any women like this to your family or in your life or anything. No. Don't even deal with them. Don't. It is not your job to correct a woman's behaviors. She's an adult. See, men think that you know, I'm going to come into this woman's life and I'm going to change the way she behaves and the way she operates. This is why guys go for the party girl, the girl who has a bunch of male friends, the girl who likes to go out every weekend, the girl who only got blackout drunk a couple of times in her life and now she's got her drinking under control. No. Women with bad habits, avoid them. So you're only going to attract what you are. So when you're more disciplined and you have more self-respect, you will never have anything in common with these type of women. Most men aren't drinking. Most men aren't clubbing. Most men are focusing on the bag and becoming better and building. So that's why a lot of these goofy women are out here and they're complaining about the dating market, because men are actually putting their head down and they're working. They're working. They have nothing in common with these women, and that's why they're complaining. You attract what you are. This is how I know that no matter what statistic is out there, men are actually doing the work.